So Dan Lanning's in the news this morning because naturally he is going to be the favorite for the Texas A&M opening. And coaches hear this throughout the regular season all the time when their name is speculated for a future major job opening in college football. But they'll usually brush it to the wayside. I'm focusing on the remainder of the regular season. My attention is all about here and the now. But Dan Lanning, honestly, I think closed the casket on any chance of him leaving Eugene in the foreseeable future. If you're brand new, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. I talk NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, but I love talking college football. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, my friends, this is the channel made for you. Hit that subscribe button down below. Tell me your thoughts on Lanning's comments of basically denying that he will be going to Texas A&M. Tell your friends, your family, your sister, your brother, your pastor, the drunk guy passed out in a Waffle House parking lot about this channel. And as always, let's continue to talk college football. By the way, mustache right here. I grow it out every single November for awareness with Movember. Movember is talking about men's suicide, testicular cancer, and prostate cancer, which is growing at an alarming rate, not only in the United States, but globally. If you would like to find out more information, make sure you visit Movember.com, or you can click the link in the description down below. So Dan Lanning was asked last night during his weekly press conference, what did he make of Texas A&M's opening? What did he make of his name being linked to the job? And naturally, it's an SEC job. And it's a pretty damn good SEC job when you look at the resources and the team that's already in place in College Station. All that could change by December 4th when the transfer portal window opens, but it feels like that still this is going to be a competitive team. And again, you could have kept it short. I'm not interested. I'm only focused in on playing Arizona State. I'm only focused in on making the college football playoff. Well, Dan Lanning decided to pull out a scripture from the book of How to Evade a Question and Silence Any Rumors by saying this: I want everything that exists right here. I'm not going anywhere. There's zero chance that I would be coaching elsewhere. I've got unfinished business here. We have resources, the tools. Anybody that can understand why you want to be at this place doesn't understand what else is here. A lot of coaches don't say anything. One, because they don't want egg on their face when they decide to do something else. Two, because they're concerned about the things I'm not concerned about, like getting a better contract. I'm taken care of extremely well here at Oregon. I have the resources I need to be really successful. I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated by winning. Yeah, that to me is basically a knock, knock, who's there? Nope, not doing it. That's a straight up, I am excited about where I am. And anybody that knows Dan Lanning can understand when he puts his mind to something, he's not going to say no. Lanning at one point had to drive, I believe it was 12 hours to get a graduate assistant interview. And then afterwards, he had to work his way up the ladder from being a GA at a smaller program to a GA at Alabama to then becoming a run game coordinator at Memphis, all the way until Kirby Smart called him, saw what he liked at him during his tenure in Tuscaloosa, and thought, this guy's a good linebacker coach. This guy could be a really good play caller. This guy could be a really up-and-coming name in the industry. I want him on my staff. And Lanning stayed. And Lanning was good. And Lanning was a part of what could be considered one of the greatest defenses we have ever seen in the history of college football. And what's even more so big about his character is even though he took the job at Oregon, he also said, I'm not leaving until Georgia wins its national title, its first national title. So he stays around in Athens. He helps the team surpass Alabama for the first championship in over 40 years. And then he goes to Eugene. It's very clear when he is committed to something, he is hell-bent on seeing it through. And the Ducks right now are hell-bent on making it back to the CFP. And they have a shot. They have a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback in Bo Nix. They have two exceptional wide receivers. They have a stout offensive and defensive line. They're playing their best football and really have the entire season. And the team is buying into exactly what Lanning is saying. Not to mention, he is crushing it on the recruiting trail. Oregon is now about to become one of the premier destinations when it comes to the transfer portal, mainly due to the success of not just the quarterback, but also the offense in general, from a switch from Kenny Dillingham to Will Stein, who could still be around in Eugene past this year, if not offered more money. And a lot of people are also forgetting this is a little bit different than Oregon past. Oregon's always had money. Anybody that does not know, Oregon is funded by Phil Knight, who is, lo and behold, the creator of Nike. And Oregon has the Nike store literally right down the road. Players get to go in there. Players are sponsored. Players get to have the opportunity of seeing all the frontline gear come out, and they have resources and funding like no one's business. But they were in the Pac-12. And the Pac-12, as good as a conference as it is, or was since it's coming to an end on a very sour note, is not the Big Ten, and it's not the SEC. And it does not bring in the money, which allows you to better your facilities, better your complexes, better your nutrition system, bring in better staff members, and be able to afford all of this without really losing a cent in the process, like the Big Ten can, or like the SEC can. So when Mario Cristobal and Willie Taggart decide to say sayonara, the Pac-12 was still a thing. Now it's not. It's the Pac-2. It's Jonathan Smith and Oregon State sticking in Corvallis. And in Pullman, Washington, you got Jake Dickert and the Cougars, hopefully going to be able to run the show and maybe, just maybe, sneak their way into the CFP for 2024. That's what's going on. Oregon's going to the Big Ten. And Oregon now will have the proper resources from the media contract. Not to mention, Lanning will be able to ask Phil Knight for whatever he sees fit. And Knight and the Oregon Ducks were the smartest people, realizing that they were tired of being a stepping stone job. They saw that Lanning was a coach who comes from an SEC background, has experience on the recruiting trail, and can sell a program like I can sell cars and sell you that I actually like my long hair. That was him. That was Lanning. So they put an addendum in the contract saying, here, you can pay out our coach. You're giving us $20 million just to be able to have him. Not to mention whatever you're going to pay him in the process. So while A&M does have a crap load of money, so much money that $150 million feels like monopoly change at this point, Lanning still has to be wanting to go. And right now it feels like he's very content at where he is. More specifically, he feels like his roster is going to compete, not just this year, but next year. He won't have to go through the selling of the program again to keep players in College Station, and he can offer whatever he wants. And Phil Knight, I think at this point, is tired of seeing coaches leave this program and them having to hit the regroup button. They've never truly hit the reset button. Even when Chip Kelly left and they went to Mark Herflick, they never really hit reset. They hit retool and regroup, and they're tired of hitting that. So I don't think that Lanning is going to go anywhere. And more importantly, the way that he answered that question, do you know how many times that will be played on a recourse loop throughout every single radio and television station that talks college football every day? It will be a disaster. You say when you're still somewhat interested, I'm focusing on the time and the task at hand. That's my job. Not, oh, I'm going to go full haymaker and declare to the world, I am here. You don't do that if you don't actually mean it. Lanning means it. Lanning is very content at where he is. And money does grow on trees and money talks. But Oregon, like its color green, has plenty of it. And they're going to get even more of it when they're in the Big Ten. I've talked to a couple people around just the recruiting aspects throughout the few years. And the same conversation begins the exact same way when I talk to them about job openings. It's not about the money, usually. Money is a factor, but it's about the ambiance and it's about the pedigree. Every coach that is saying that they don't want a job in the SEC or the Big Ten is lying. They want that opportunity and they want that pay raise. Dan Lanning is going to get both in 2024. He's going to have a team, in my opinion, that will be competitive pretty quickly when it comes to defending their status as one of the best premier programs in college football. They're going to have an opportunity of not just winning the Big Ten, but certainly at least making the college football playoff with expansion. And they have the right guy at the helm. Sometimes if you just see what it takes to lead a program, and if sometimes you see you're happy ever after, maybe go in a different direction than most, you're content at where you are. It's why I don't think Lance Leipold is probably an option for many schools. It's why I don't think Chris Kleinman would leave Manhattan, Kansas, unless it was for an opportunity that was too good to pass up. It's why when you see several of these coaches, they're very happy at where they are, and they're usually not available because they make themselves unavailable. I think Dan Lanning just made himself unavailable, and that's a huge win for the Oregon Ducks. But more importantly, it may be a huge win for the future of their status and the Big Ten status as the program and the conference to beat in the not-so-distant future. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.